Hello everybody, this is Daniel Haileleul, founder of Addis Basketball Academy, also known as ABA. Before basketball came into the picture, I was about 5-6 years old, so I started playing at the age of 6, so not much really happened before basketball came into my life, to be honest. But I grew up as a normal kid. I went to Greek school where I watched my older brother playing basketball, which introduced me to the game of basketball and also grew my love for the game of basketball. I'd say it was about 3rd grade when I played on my first official basketball team. It was the elementary team at Greek school. Playing it with and against guys that were a few years older than me and being able to keep my own kind of showed me that, this was something that I was actually really good at and I could be potentially great at. One of the biggest challenges that I faced growing up was Ethiopia not having enough infrastructure when it comes to basketball courts and stadiums, not having enough tournaments and games to play for, and most importantly, not having enough basketball programs where you can learn and actually enhance your game, so nowhere where you can actually train or people to properly train you at the time. Growing up, like I said, my brother was my biggest inspiration when it comes to basketball. As I got a bit older, Coach Carlos summer camp was something that I joined, and Coach Carlos really helped me a lot. And in spirit, Kobe Bryant has been my biggest inspiration. The day I decided that I was no longer going to pursue basketball as a player and decided to pursue basketball as a mentor, as a leader, as a coach, and moving back to Ethiopia. Well, the vision came from, myself and others growing up here in Ethiopia did not have the proper infrastructure or basketball development programs to help us actually enhance our game at a young age. And I felt like that was a gap that needed to be filled, and that was something that was missing in my life or in my basketball career as I moved on abroad to play basketball. But how and when it started was I decided to do a semester abroad by living in Ethiopia, taking classes online. And I volunteered to do coaching programs at different schools. I remember I did Sanford, Greek School, Ethiopian Youth Sports Academy, and Bingham, I believe. And I did just one session here and there just to kind of get the feedback from the different students. And when I asked them what their favorite and least favorite part was, their least favorite part was the fact that I wasn't coming back to give them that training session again. And that really sparked something inside me that said, you know what, I got to finish up on my school and move back. And so I did, and ABA was born. It's very important to have programs like ABA in Ethiopia because it's not just the lessons and values that it teaches you on the court, but also off the court. So one of the biggest things that basketball has taught me growing up is perseverance, hard work, especially work ethic, and being a team player. Being a team player goes along in your work environment, in your family values, and so many other things in your day-to-day life that it's not just what you do on the court, but also off the court. The number one thing that I hope each kid walks away with is discipline, as discipline can go far beyond the basketball court. Secondly, I'd like for them to walk away with work ethic, because that also translates to many different things. It can be in their academics, it can be in their, work, in their working environment as they get older and become adults. But last but not least is I would hope that they would take away at least one friendship that's going to go on for years and beyond. I've met a lot of people through my basketball career, you'd say, or basketball journey. Some have become doctors, some have become lawyers, some have become so many different things in their journey as well that we're still friends now, but we met through basketball. So that's what I hope these kids take away. The lack of sports infrastructure is very significant in this country, and you can see the gaps that need to be filled. Granted, when I moved here 5 years ago, there was nothing, and in the last 5 years, there has actually been a lot of growth in terms of parks and basketball courts that are being built out in different locations, which I'm super happy about. We just need to learn how to utilize them effectively, and I hope that ABA is going to have one of the biggest sports facilities Ethiopia has to offer in the near future. I feel like that answer always evolves in my head, but there's a few things that still stick true to my heart that I want the future of ABA to hold. One is to build the biggest basketball league that Ethiopia has, and not just Addis Ababa. This would be including in all different regions of Ethiopia. We have Gambela, Awasa, Walqite. We have so many different parts of Ethiopia that has actually true hoopers. You guys should definitely check them out. Secondly, we need to be able to produce mass media or get basketball on the map by showing the world that we actually can hoop out here. And last but not least, my number one and final goal, and when this happens, I can retire and I can say I've done my job. I need one person to make it to the NBA, and then I can relax and retire and be on the beach somewhere.